Hi there. Thanks for tuning in to my YouTube channel here. I'm titling this A Washing in the Word, and it stems from John 13:14. And Jesus was washing his disciples' feet. And after he had done that, in verse 14, he says, "Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet." And that's the vision I see for this is just a washing of the word into your life, into your mind and heart. I encourage you to listen to it on the radio or headset or on YouTube videos, and just let it wash over you and just be a cleansing agent from the toxins and impurities of the world. We're going through the book of Job. We just finished chapter 29. I would encourage you to listen to chapter 29 video or read chapter 29 before jumping into verse 30 or chapter 30, because Job has just shared his life experiences of what his stature was before men and before kids and before elders and old men and chief men and men, and how he helped a bunch of people in his life. And his situation now, he has nobody around him. He's suffering, and everyone's saying God's cursed him, and so Job's three friends are not being very friendly. They're contaminating Job's life and blasting him with words and sharp, cutting remarks, and blaming Job for the situation he's in. When we know the real reality of the book of Job from the beginning chapters, that everything that's happened to Job has been a result of the cosmic spiritual warfare and allowed by God from a conversation between God and Satan. So we're picking it up in chapter 30, and it goes like this. Job is continuing his discourse. 29 was beautiful. I'd encourage you to read that or listen to that video. Chapter 30, "But now they mock me, men younger than I, whose fathers I would have disdained to put with my sheepdogs. Of what use was the strength of their hands to me, since their vigor had gone from them? Haggard from want and hunger, they roamed the parched land and desolate wastelands at night. In the brush they gathered salt herbs, and their food was the root of the broom tree. And they were banished from their fellow men, shouted at as if they were thieves. They were forced to live in the dry stream beds, among the rocks and in holes in the ground. They brayed among the bushes and huddled in the undergrowth. A base and nameless brood, they were driven out of the land. And now their sons mock me in song." Wow. I know you and I we will never have songs sung about us, except the word does say Jesus sings songs over us. But you get my drift here. The fact that Job has people that were considered very scoundrelly people, and now they're singing songs about him, as a complete turnaround and something Job never expected. Verse 9, part B, he says, "I have become a byword among them. They detest me and keep their distance. They do not hesitate to spit in my face." Who else was spit at? Jesus. Verse 11, "Now that God has unstrung my bow and afflicted me, they throw off restraint in my presence. On my right the tribe attacks. They lay snares for my feet. They build their siege ramps against me. They break up my road. They succeed in destroying me without anyone's helping them. They advance as through a gaping breach. Amid the ruins they come rolling in. Terrors overwhelm me. My dignity is driven away as by the wind. My safety vanishes like a cloud. And now my life ebbs away. Days of suffering grip me. Night pierces my bones. My gnawing pains never rest. In his great power, God becomes like clothing to me. He binds me like the neck of his garment. He throws me into the mud, and I am reduced to dust and ashes. I cry out to you, O God, but you do not answer. I stand up, but you merely look at me. You turn on me ruthlessly. With the might of your hand you attack me. You snatch me up and drive me before the wind. You toss me about in the storm. I know you will bring me down to death, to the place appointed for all the living. Some of the suffering that Job's going here, keep in mind, Job is a Christ type. Job is a suffering. Though he's innocent, he did nothing wrong, he's going through immense suffering and pain and torment. And his friends are not so friendly. And this is a Christ type, as Jesus went through immense suffering, and his friends deserted him, and people, his own people that he came to save, didn't recognize him, and they crucified him. So keep that in mind here as we study Job. Verse 24, surely no one lays a hand on a broken man when he cries for help in his distress. Have I not wept for those in trouble? Has not my soul grieved for the poor? Yet when I hoped for good, evil came. When I looked for light, then came darkness. The churning inside me never stops. Days of suffering confront me. Job sees no way out. He doesn't see any light at the end of the tunnel. He can't see any of those things. But Job understands that relief only comes from God. God could change Job's life in a moment, and as we'll see later. Verse 28, I go about blackened, but not by the sun. I stand up in the assembly and cry for help. I have become a brother of jackals, a companion of owls. My skin grows black and peels. My body burns with fever. My harp is tuned to mourning, and my flute to the sound of wailing. Job is really struggling, and God has painted a very clear picture of Job's suffering here in chapter 30.